Hello, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, depending on where you are in the world. My name is Amy Carr. I'm the Vice President of Recruiting here at Worldwide Health Staff, and we are thrilled to talk to you today about one of our existing employers, McLaren Healthcare. So welcome everybody. Please put in the comments where you are watching from. We'd love to also take any questions that you put in the comments. So please, we'd love to answer anything that you would like to know. We will do our very best to tell you everything about all the good reasons why you should work at McLaren Healthcare. Um, so McLaren Healthcare it's a hospital system of 13 hospitals. The hospital that we are currently hiring for is Northern Michigan is the name of the hospital, but also it's in Northern Michigan, in the very tip top of the state of Michigan. So let's learn a little bit about McLaren's mission and visions. And hello to Finland and London. How exciting. Um, excuse me. McLaren, they have hospitals in three states. They're in Michigan, and Indiana, and another state right nearby. Again, we're hiring for the one in Northern Michigan. But their mission is to be Michigan's premier healthcare provider, offering advanced healthcare services and improving the quality of life for the communities they serve. Um, and so they're really focused on quality. They really want to interview nurses that are interested in supporting the level of quality that they have. Also, hello to Ghana. How exciting. And then let's talk a little bit about some of their statistics and achievements. Oh, also Jamaica just joined us. How exciting. So some of the things about this system is that they have 1 million plus outpatient visits annually. They have 200,000 plus ER visits. There's over 10,000 surgeries performed each year. And they're ranked in the top percentile for quality care and a recipient of the Most Wired Award, which is an award for those hospitals and healthcare systems that are using technology in really cool ways. They've also been recognized for safety, performance excellence, and a top community hospital in the region. So right now, I mentioned that we're hiring for the Northern Michigan Hospital. The departments that we currently have interviews for are the CVU, Med Surg, ICU, and ED departments. The Northern Michigan Hospital it's a primary stroke center. They have 202 beds, and they do all kinds of things, but they focus on cardiology, cancer, ortho, and neurosciences. Hey to the KSA. So many people around the world are watching this. That's so fun. And I think maybe I'll just take a second to talk about a little bit about that part of Michigan. So I mentioned it's in the very tippy top of Michigan. So Michigan is a state at the top of the U.S., but it's at the top of Michigan, and it does have some pretty significant snow. It gets in the winter. It has all four seasons, so you have beautiful summers. This Northern Michigan is a vacation spot in the summer, so people take their families there to vacation. And then in the winter, there's lots of winter sports. So and there's ski resorts. People go ice fishing, which if you are not familiar with ice fishing, when the lakes freeze over, people build these little huts over the lake, and they cut a hole out, and then they fish into the lake. You should Google it if you're not familiar. People love it. Also, hello to the Philippines and South Korea. How fun to have you join us today. Um, In the fall, there are beautiful fall colors, and people will drive up in Michigan to be able to see all of the beautiful fall colors. Um, there are also some of the most beautiful places in America. So says ABC's Good Morning America, that are up along the shoreline up in northern Michigan. There are little islands to visit, including Mackinac Island, and then there's just several other beautiful places to visit. Oh, look, we've got people from the UAE and from Canada. Um, you know, northern Michigan is pretty close to you up in Canada, not very far away at all. Um, and then in the summertime in northern Michigan, there are all kinds of festivals, lots and lots of music festivals. There's a cherry festival. I have not had them, but apparently the cherries and the cherry pies in this area of the U.S. are extraordinary. And there's a cherry festival. So there's lots of really fantastic reasons to live in northern Michigan. I think, really just most importantly, it's beautiful. It's a vacation spot. It is more rural, so it's not a hugely populated area. It's a great place to raise a family. And so it's a great part of the U.S. and one that you may not have thought about before. So I think it's something that you should definitely explore, but there's just an enormous amount of activities to think about in this area. Um, okay, so we're going to continue talking about McLaren. And maybe important to know, the closest international airport to where McLaren is based in Michigan is in northern Michigan, or is in Detroit. So Detroit is the city, but Detroit's kind of a drive from northern Michigan. So that's where the closest airport is. Question: do you have dialysis department and their job openings? We do have dialysis openings, not at McLaren, but we absolutely do have openings with other employers for dialysis. And oh, look, watching from Ghana, and I'm a community health nurse. It depends on the individual employer if you're eligible as a community health nurse to apply. This particular employer is one that requires acute care experience, so you need to be currently working in a hospital to apply. And then, are there openings for nurses in Texas? Right this moment, we do not have openings in Texas. We do believe at the beginning of the year we will have some openings in Texas, but right now we are not interviewing for Texas. Okay, so we talked a little bit about life in northern Michigan. Also, I think something that's important to talk about for Michigan in general is that it's really, in general, a very diverse state, and is also a place that has a really low cost of living. And so if you're looking for a place to start your life in the US, this is a really good place to be able to have money in your pocket. Also, especially in the rural parts, it's pretty safe. Um, so I think it's a great place to really think about the culture, the diversity, the safety. Oh, look, we have somebody from Pakistan, which is really exciting. There's a question about dental hygienists. We are not currently hiring dental hygienists. We are not currently. Oh, look, somebody's been to McLaren, Michigan to have a shadowing nursing. How about a shadow nurse program? That's so exciting. That's so fun. So they've actually been to McLaren. That's great. Do we have job openings in North Carolina? We have some job openings in North Carolina. We are not currently interviewing for many openings in North Carolina, but we do expect at the beginning of the year to interview for some more North Carolina openings, and maybe even possibly before the year is out. So we do anticipate that. Are there openings for medical technologist? Not currently at McLaren, but we do have openings that come open for medical technologists. And the best thing to do is to apply and talk to your recruiter, depending on what area you work in, what your specialty is. We do have openings that come up with medical technologists. Absolutely. Oh, and there's another RN from the UAE. How exciting! Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the cost of living comparison. So we have taken a city that we think lots of people are familiar with, which is San Francisco, and compared the cost of living for 2 adults and 2 children for the northern Michigan area. And as you can see, in northern Michigan, housing, food, childcare, transportation, I think just because you have to drive a little bit farther is the one that might be a little bit different. And then healthcare, other things, taxes, almost all of it is significantly less. If you look at that annual total to support a family of 4, it is half of what it costs in San Francisco. And so that's a huge difference. And so I think, also when you look at the wages for what a nurse gets paid in Michigan, it's less than what a nurse gets paid in San Francisco, but it is not half of what a nurse gets paid in San Francisco. And so I think, one of the things about cost of living in the US, and I'm sure also around the world, is that if you go somewhere where there is a low cost of living, then you end up with more money in your pocket. So it's you can save better. You can end up being more, just more secure, faster in the US. A couple of questions that come in. When will you have an opening for nurse aides? We currently do not have any employers that are hiring nurse aides. So I'm not sure if we'll have future openings, but we don't have any right now. The retrogression time for nurse aides is 4 years. And so we just don't have any openings at this time. Are there openings for RNs in neuro ICU? Great question. I think many of our employers will hire nurses for ICU and then later slot them into places like neuro ICU. Excuse me. McLaren does have openings for ICU. We do have some other employers that specifically have neuro ICU positions. And then, can you watch this later? Yes. You will be able to come back to this website or back to Facebook, and you can watch it anytime on our social media. You should be able just to replay it. Excuse me. And then, do you recruit from Nigeria? Yes, we do. If you have passed the NCLEX and you are an NCLEX passing RN from almost any country in the world, we are happy to help you. The only time that we wouldn't be able to help you is if there is extreme retrogression, like there is in India, or if for whatever reason there was a travel ban. And I think the only country that currently has a travel ban from the US is North Korea. And is there a chance of sponsorship as a dental hygienist in the US? We are not currently hiring dental hygienists. There might be a possibility in the future, but right now we are not currently hiring any dental hygienists. All right, let's move on to see if there's any other questions. Okay, if there's any other questions, please make sure to put them in the comments right now. Also, if you have questions about your specific experience, the best thing to do is contact a recruiter. You can also contact recruiters live right now on the website. But But you can also, if you have a recruiter, if you've already applied and you have a recruiter, then please contact them directly and let them know that you are interested in McLaren and you'd like to schedule an interview. Also, if you're a dialysis nurse, please apply. Please go to our website, healthstaff.org, and apply online. We would love to get you connected directly with a recruiter who will be able to help you specifically with your experience. They'll be able to talk with you and help you with either this employer, McLaren in Northern Michigan, or another opportunity that would be good for you. Also, don't forget to like us on Facebook. We do webinars like this all the time about employers. We do immigration updates. We talk about new positions. We post exciting pictures of nurses that have arrived in the US. So don't forget to like us on Facebook and all the other social media channels so you can make sure not to miss out on anything at all. We also have a really great refer a nurse program. So if you have a nurse friend or colleague that you would like to refer so that you come to the US with somebody else, please sign up and you can earn $250 every time a nurse gets their petition filed that you have referred. One last question. Do you have NCLEX scholarship? We don't. Almost all of our employers require NCLEX before interview. And so most of our nurses have already taken the NCLEX before we help them get a position. From Uganda, do you recruit midwives? That's a great question. We sometimes do recruit midwives. Occasionally there are positions that are here in the US would be called obstetrics. And it depends on your education and your specific experience, but sometimes that does translate into a position here. All right, I think that we have answered all of the questions that have come in today. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Please remember, reach out to your recruiter and let them know if you are interested in an interview with McLaren. Interviews are going on right now, and we would absolutely love to help you schedule an interview. Thank you so much, and have a really great evening, afternoon, or morning, wherever you are.